death row. They try to play a hate, but they can't fade us though. We be mobbing through the neighborhood, yeah, with that funky sound. We've been throwing down.
Well, you know, I think it's like time, on a simple fact that one thing we stand for, we just don't stand for like the West Coast. We stand for the ghetto, which is the inner cities. You know, you get so many people that get in this game, and the very first chance they get, first hit they get, first #1 video, they shake everybody. And it be all about them. They lose the slang, they lose the language. Like the stuff we talk about, or the stuff if it's Crooked Eye or Eastwood talking about on their album, that's like so damn hood. You know, and everything you talk about is reality stuff. Like when Crooked Eye say he parked a 5 and pedaled the bike, right? He really do got a 5, and he really will jump on the bike and pedal. So people can relate to it, because I'm here in the hotel, I'm under my name. It's not like I'm up under some alias like everybody else be and all this type of stuff. They can call my room and shit, come up here and kicking and shit. You know, I ain't afraid of my own people. So it's always appreciative that they do give us love, because we give love back. The first thing I do is basically, it's the man or if it's the woman, it's their attitude. I don't care how hot somebody is, if they can't get along with everybody, we ain't fucking with them. And for us, my whole thing is, when I was in the pen doing 5 years, I sit back and I watch the game. I watch the game, I watch how people was doing stuff that I did in '92, they still doing in 2002. And the two hottest youngsters for us on the West Coast in the streets was Crooked Eye and Eastwood. So how you, and one of the things was that Crooked Eye came to visit me when I was in the pen. He was like, well, look, I'm working on this, I want to do this, I want to do this. I said, this all you got to do is kick back, rush your neck. And that's exactly what he did. And for us, Eastwood was running around, a lot of people was trying to get at him. A lot of people was trying to sign both of them. But how could you be on the West Coast and don't be on the road? Because we the only West Coast label, period. Because when you look at it, it's other people say they have labels out there, but they don't have labels. It's Interscope label, or it's Universal label, or it's Priority label, or they from somewhere else. You know, I'm from Compton. I ain't one of those people who like lived there for like a month or went through there. I grew up there. I was raised there. Period. Point blank.
Right, no doubt. Speaking on that, I heard you say. It's time to skate.
Well, it's nobody in the game to get your game from, on a simple fact that all the old heads in this game, they ain't fucking with young motherfuckers like us. And everybody else, they work for the majors. So if somebody go to do a deal somewhere, they gotta go get at the majors, and what happens is, you got the house niggas. So if you go to a major, if you go to Sony, if it's Universal owns Interscope, Universal owns Polygram, Universal owns A&M, Universal owns Def Jam, all that stuff. So Def Jam owns Rockefeller. So Universal owns Rockefeller. Universal owns everybody. So if you get a guy that works for Universal and he's black, and Universal say, okay, I'm gonna give them $1, hypothetically speaking, their whole thing gonna be is this: they only gonna give you a quarter, but I can get you 30 cents. So when they go to their boss, they can say, look, boss, you was gonna give him $1, I got this nigga for 30 cents. So that keep them a job a little longer. So there's nobody in this business you can really deal with or fuck with to try to get no game from. Because I tell everybody all the time, own your masters, own your catalog. Can't none of these niggas say they own their masters in their catalog. If they do, they lying to you. Or they gonna say they own some of it, or they gonna buy it back. All that is bullshit. Not knocking Russell or nothing, but they had an interview on Russell on Def Jam. And they was like, well, on the whole Def Jam shit, on Russell shit, and Def Jam shit, they showed mostly Run DMC. Run DMC was on Profile, which is heirs to own their masters now. Rick Rubin and Russell was partners. Now Leo Cohen and Russell is partners. But Universal owns Def Jam. So my whole thing is, I don't care how hard it might be, what kind of shit I gotta go through. I'm gonna keep this shit gangster. I'm gonna keep this shit ghetto. I'm gonna keep this shit independent. So that way, when my artists wanna say, fuck this person, fuck this, fuck that, suck my dick, they can say it. It's not censored. So that's what we gotta be able to do.
Big yeah. Y'all know how this shit go, you know. All eyes on me. Roll up in the club and shit. All eyes.
One of the things I did was this. I started reading contracts. When I started reading contracts, I was seeing contracts. When Dre had a contract with Ruthless, he was making 1 point as a producer. But that 1 point was cross-collateralized every person on that label. So if JJ Fat was in a hole, or Easy was in a hole, or n.w.a was in a hole from touring, they'd take his money. And 1 point was like back in Chuck Berry days. You know what I mean? 2 points is back in Chuck Berry days. So I'm saying, how the fuck is, this the early 90s, 89, 90, and they getting the same points as Chuck Berry? Something wrong with that motherfucker problem. So I got him out of his shit. And then the thing about it is this, that because you free a slave, don't mean he's not gonna run back to master, get his ass up and say, I wanna be a slave again. Half of these motherfuckers just do that. They'll talk all that shit. I don't knock Prince. Prince will write slave on his face and say, I ain't fucking with him. But who Prince back fucking with? So, if you're gonna say something, mean what you say what you mean. Or don't say shit at all. So my whole thing was, I don't fit in the circle of a lot of industry shit. I say half these motherfuckers is gay crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like their whole thing is, their way of living, their way of thinking is about them. My thing is about the ghetto. I don't give a fuck how much shit I go through the ghetto, I'm still gonna fuck with the ghetto. And one thing about my artists, they gotta keep that shit straight, or I ain't fucking with them.
Oh shit. You done fucked up, man. You done put two of America's most wanted in the same motherfucking place at the same motherfucking time. Y'all niggas about to feel.
See, first of all, you gotta realize one thing. It's the difference between being a street punk, being a thug, and being a gangster. A thug will do anything for money. A thug will go out there and sit on a block from 2 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the morning in the rain, selling $5, $10, $20 rocks. Or snatch a purse from an old lady and take the money out. Or take a radio out the car. That's a thug, because he on the streets. A gangster's a motherfucker who's smart about his shit. A gangster go to that motherfucker on the street and say, you know what? You hustling from what? From 2 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the morning, and you making like what? $2,000 or $3,000 a day? But check this out. Either you gonna give me half, or you gonna keep 40 and I take 60. A gangster gonna see a motherfucker snatch the old lady purse and go get the nigga and say, you know what? I'm gonna get this old lady her purse back, nigga. Cause if you want something, go take it from a nigga. Don't take it from an old lady. Don't pick up on no kids. That's a big difference. Every motherfucker hollering about the gangster, definitely not no gangster. A gangster is the last person who trying to convince everybody that they tough. A motherfucker who's really tough, he don't got to mad dog everybody. He can be polite. He can walk in, he can love the kids, he can hold the kids, he can be, he can do favors, like y'all stuff. Y'all stuff is black. You pushing that line. You don't got to go through no